Alrighty, let's get started. Thanks everybody for coming. My name is David Nesbitt. I'm the host for A2NewTech meetup, and thanks for making time to join us at our monthly meeting tonight. Since 2009, we've had 100 plus meetups for this group. We have 300 plus companies that have pitched, 6,800 members, and almost to 6,900 right now. And last year we had 60 pitches. So we do this every month, have 3 to 5 pitches per month. And this month we're fortunate to have our friends from Detroit, the Venture For America Innovation Organization. And so they're going to be having 4 companies pitch tonight. We're going to hear a brief overview of their program from Caroline Hatfield, who's also here. And so, yeah, we're happy to have them with us tonight, have some little bit different pitches than usual. So I always need to start off this way and see who in the room is first timers. Raise a hand if this is your first time at A2NewTech. Cool, so about half the room, a little bit less than that. Definitely look around, see the people who didn't raise their hand, introduce yourself, learn why this meetup is helpful and why people come back for this. There's definitely a thriving ecosystem for tech here in Ann Arbor. It's growing, it's changing, it's evolving every day, and this meetup is an important part of that community, kind of bringing us together, giving us common points to get to know each other and learn what's happening. And so there's a lot of people working on tech in Ann Arbor. It's kind of a subsection of them here tonight with this group, and others that are developing ideas, hatching new technologies, launching companies. And so this meetup will help you meet those people that are starting those ideas, building those companies, and shaping the future of tech with you in Ann Arbor. This group helps you stay connected with them. So glad you're here helping us do that and make this community a little bit smaller and more attached to each other. So monthly, in this time, we can learn about the different companies that are working in the A2Tech community, meet other people that are building and shaping the future of tech. So you never know who you're going to bump into. That's going to shape, in a big way, maybe your next couple years, and maybe even beyond that. And so I think we all want a kind of a helpful, supportive tech community in Ann Arbor, and we can each help to make that happen. And so I encourage you tonight to try to help someone out. Give someone a connection or a piece of advice. I know everyone probably comes with the different things that they're looking for to get from the meetup and things they want to get out of tonight. But I encourage you to think about people around you that you're meeting and how you can help them out. And we can return the favor to each other. Afterwards, make sure to stick around for our post-meetup networking. We're going to be at Pizza House, which is just a couple blocks away. And Ann Arbor Spark is providing our pizza for the networking after the meetup tonight. So at about 8 o'clock, we'll wrap up and head over there. And that's a great time to continue conversations you start here, meet more people. There's just a lot of people in the room, and so it gives you more time to mingle a little bit and meet those people and start conversations. So definitely encourage you to come there. I always meet someone new and have some interesting conversations and learn some new things. In the time before our next month, kind of in between our meetups, there's an important place where we also can stay connected with other people in the community, both the ones that attend the month and maybe the ones that missed it that month, and that is our Slack channel. And you can join that by going to madeina2.com/Slack. And there we'll have general announcements. There'll be postings about jobs or hiring or people that are looking for something and more. There's like a music channel for people that are audiophiles and lots of other things that you can interact with people on the Slack channel about. And so if you're interested in staying connected with the tech community here, that's a great place to do it. So join that Slack. I also want to say thank you to some organizations and people that help us make this meetup happen every month. So I know all of us benefit from this, and we really appreciate people like A2 Geeks is a nonprofit dedicated to making Southeastern Michigan and Ann Arbor a great place for geeks and creatives to live, work, and play. Roger Rayle from R2 Vibe does our video every month, so thank you to Roger. Let me give him a round. If you want to hire Roger for this kind of video work or any kind of video work, look up R2 Vive, and he'll be posting a link for tonight's video in the comments of this meetup event. So make sure to take a look out for that or send it to someone you think should see one of these pitches that didn't get to make it. We've had a variety of organizers over the years who have helped to bring this event together every month, schedule pitches, screen pitches, things like that. And so I want to say thank you to Doug Song, Zach Steinler, Scott Gosey, David Bloom, David Corcoran, Brian Kelly, Brooke Boyle, and more. So these people are important people who are helping this meetup continue for 9+ years now, and so appreciate them. Also want to say thank you to the Entrepreneurship Clinic here at the U of M Law School. This is one of the law school buildings, if you're not familiar. Dana Thompson's the founding director of Michigan's Entrepreneurship Law Clinic, and so they help us get the space every month, which is awesome. And if you're a company in Michigan, especially a startup, you can actually get free IP, corporate, and various legal services from law students here at the U. So if you are in that position, someone who's launching a company could use that. You should definitely take advantage of this. You can talk to Laura Schiltz, who's the clinic administrator, and they'll get you hooked up and tell you what they can do for you. And then lastly, I mentioned Ann Arbor Spark as our pizza sponsor for the networking after this at Pizza House. Ann Arbor Spark is committed to bringing together organizations and individuals to support the growth of companies and the creation of jobs here in southeastern Michigan. So, long list of people to thank, but definitely important ones, each one that helps us make this event happen. Something else I want to mention, and just kind of point forward to the next A2NewTech meetup. We're always on the third Tuesday of the month, so hopefully it makes it easier to remember. Always the third Tuesday, and we have openings in November for pitches. So if you have a pitch that you're interested in bringing and doing here at A2NewTech, or if you know someone else who should, we still have spots open, and you can email us at organizers@A2NewTech.org to tell us your idea, tell us what your company is, and we'll tell you if we can get you up here. Ideally, what the criteria are that we look for people to pitch is that you've done some customer validation, potentially spoken with some prospective customers, and hopefully you've built a prototype. It's really easy to build a prototype these days for most solutions, and so it's best to have something you can show and that illustrates what your idea is in a way that's more tangible. Our agenda tonight, we're going to run until about 8 p.m. And we have 4 companies tonight from VFA that are doing a 5-minute pitch each, and then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A time afterwards where you can ask some questions about their company. And after that, we'll have a community announcements time. So this is an open time where anyone can come up and do a 1 to 2 minute announcement about a meetup you're trying to pitch, where you want to pitch, an event that you're promoting, a position you're hiring for, something you're looking for, a co-founder, etc. And so encourage you to think of your announcements now and bring them up at the end. We'll open this front area up for people to come up and make that pitch after the pitches. Last thing I'll note before we transition to the pitches is that if you, in that Q&A time, you have a question you want to ask or you have a thought to share, please ask it in the form of a question so that the pitchers have something to respond to. I know it's really tempting to kind of share your opinions on what their company idea is, and you may have some great ones, but we ask you to just keep those for maybe a conversation afterwards, and during the Q&A time, make sure it's a question so they can really respond and interact more with the audience in general. And lastly, when you do have a question, you can raise your hand, we'll call on you, and you can ask that question. Alrighty, I think that's everything. So I'm going to call up Caroline Hatfield, who is the Entrepreneurship Program Manager for VFA, and she's going to give us a little overview about their program.
Ooh, please work. Oh.
Come back here again.
Sorry, guys. All right, awesome. Thank you. Nice to be here tonight, guys. Hi, my name is Caroline. Like David said, I am an Entrepreneurship Program Manager at Venture For America. Has anyone in here heard of Venture For America before? Yeah, okay, cool. So not total strangers, that's great. So what we do at VFA, maybe, no. Still no. Interesting. What we do at VFA is we are creating economic opportunity in American cities by mobilizing the next generation of entrepreneurs and equipping them with the skills and resources they need to create jobs. It's a lot of lofty, mission-y language. So to ground that a little, what we actually do is a 2-year fellowship. So VFA recruits smart, entrepreneurial, ambitious people who have just graduated college, and we match them with startups in cities with developing ecosystems. So we don't just send them to New York and San Francisco, we send them places like Detroit and nearby where there's a little bit more to do there. So their talent and their energy have real impact in the places that we send them. maybe more so than those bigger cities. So we're in 14 cities nationwide, and like I said, Detroit is one of them. So we actually have a handful of fellows who work out of startups here in Ann Arbor. So we kind of consider it a whole area of a city. So we're happy to be here tonight. If any of you in the room are interested or know people who are graduating soon or have graduated in the last couple of years who are interested in becoming fellows and going through this sort of apprenticeship entrepreneur model, this is kind of the life of a fellow. So you apply to VFA, you get in because you're brilliant and smart, you interview with our partner companies in those 14 cities, so you can interview in any of the cities you want, companies that look good to you. You get a job in one of those cities. Then before you go, we send all of our fellows to a month-long training camp where they get trained on basic hard and soft skills that would be important at a startup so that they come on the job a little bit more prepared than the average applicant. And they're ready for that, lack of certainty and ambiguity that comes with working for a startup. And you move to your city, start work, you learn on the job, you learn, what it's like to run a startup by actually watching founders run a startup. And then VFA does learnings along the way as well. So we have webinars and in-person professional development for our fellows that hopefully accelerate their learning experience. And then hopefully you participate in some of our launch programs, which are programs that have judges and potential for funding opportunities for our fellows who want to start businesses or start side projects and stuff like that. So 73% of our fellows actually, after they graduate the program, they stay at startups, they become leaders in those startups. So we have some fellows in C-suites at startup companies nearby, and 18% actually move on to start their own businesses, which brings us here. So I'm program manager of the Accelerator program, and this year, these are our lovely cohort members. We have 8 humans and 6 companies at this year's Accelerator. We have a 4-month-long program, and it's pretty early stage, so while they've done some customer validation and most of them have a little bit of traction, this is most of their first time going full-time on their business, starting in August. So this is some of their first time pitching this evening, for instance. So it's really early stage and a chance for them to not have to worry about finances for 4 months or housing for 4 months and really dive in on making progress on their business. We bring in several 50 mentors throughout the program, more than that actually, to come in and teach them what I can't teach them, which is startup law and finance and all the things that are way beyond me and them and everyone. So I'm bringing a lot of people to help, and the goal of the program really is to find that next step towards sustainability, whether that's bootstrapping, whether that's finding angel investors or another accelerator, and all of our companies are kind of across the board on what they're looking for next. So if you are an angel investor or you run a startup accelerator or have any advice on bootstrapping, they're all interested in all the above. We have our demo day coming up on November 9th in downtown Detroit, where they're gonna take this first draft of their pitches on the road and really improve the next couple of weeks and hopefully have even more traction to share with you there. So if you want to come there, it'll be downtown Detroit. That's all I really have to say. So if you are if you run a startup, if you are a founder or leader at a startup and you're interested in hiring a fellow, please reach out to me. If you are interested in becoming a fellow, reach out to me. And if you're interested in being a mentor for any of these companies or future businesses that come out of Venture For America, I'd love to talk to you. So let me know. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Caroline. So our first pitch tonight is Diop. And so pitching and presenting Diop is Evan Freed and Mapate Diop. So you guys can come on up and get set with your presentation here. So Diop makes heritage-inspired shirts and bandanas. And your timer's gonna be right down here.
Right there.
Yep.
Awesome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mapate.
I'm Evan Freed. I hope you're all doing well. Mapate,
Evan?
where are you from?
New York.
No, where are you from?
New York.
No. Where are you from?
New York.
No, you know what I mean.
What Evan's asking is where my parents are from. My mother's from Nigeria and my father is from Senegal. By show of hands, has anyone else in the room ever had to sort of navigate the tension within their identity? You know, maybe you've like moved around a lot and people ask you where you're from and you don't know what to say, or perhaps you do something day to day and your passion is actually something else. I'm not just African, I'm not just one thing, and I'm guessing neither are all of you. So, let me change slides. So you might look at my shirt and say, oh, is the shirt Mabate is wearing, is this African? Well, just like I'm not just African, this shirt also is not one thing. This shirt is made from wax printed fabric. It originated in Indonesia in the 12th century. Cotton is dyed, cotton is bleached, then dyed, then block printed, and finally cast in a resin resist wax. This technique is known as batik, and the Dutch exported it to West Africa, where it became a popular method for making everyday garments. It's often known as wax print or Dutch wax print. In Nigeria, where my mother comes from, it's called Ankara. Even though its origins are not African, it's still something I consider to be part of my heritage because it's something I've been wearing since I was young when my mother would pick it out for me and make it. So with that, out of that, we wanted to put our own spin on Ankara, and we wanted to unite the enduring function of it with the modern form. And the result of that is the company that Evan and I founded called Diop. Slide, please. Diop, we started with a collection of versatile, but also lightweight tops and bandanas, as seen here, that take our fabric and add in signature details like our hemline and our pocket to honor the legacy of Ankara, but also make stuff that people actually really want to wear and feel good in. Diop, sorry, just need a moment here. So because it's not just one thing, you don't have to be African or Dutch or Indonesian to wear it. You can be anything. And we want to create the space for you to join us when we do that. With regard to other companies and other brands, other streetwear, they rip off graphics and screen print, whereas we use an original fabric. Other ones make tees and hoodies and caps, whereas we make our own custom design tops and bandanas. They limit supply and ignore demand to build hype, whereas we sort of limit our supply because we really listen to our people and wanted to set a standard that we can deliver. These are expectations we set when we, back in March, we raised $20,000 in 20 days. On the first day of our launch on September 20th, we sold $2,500 worth of goods in our first day. Our average order value is $60, and our margins are at around 80%. The number one piece of feedback we get when people see our clothing is it's something they've never seen before. That's because our vision is to make things that help people feel comfortable and connected when they celebrate their differences and celebrate who they are. And that's what really informs our products, our messaging, the way in which we talk to people, and where we are and also where we aren't. So our ask tonight is that you come and talk to us. We've got some fun stickers and we've got some bandanas and product you can check out. We're also looking for an angel investor that aligns with our values, and we're also looking for an angel investor that aligns with our values and wants to make a return not just on innovation, but on progress. Because Evan and I believe it's not what you wear, but what compels you to put it on. We think that's something worth sharing. And with Diop, we want to make a brand that inspires you to narrate your own story. Thank you.
All right, we'll take 5 minutes for questions. You guys can stay up here, actually step right up in front. And we'd love to hear audience questions for these two.
How do you guys feel about marketing and promoting your product thus far?
We've done a number of different approaches in testing. One thing is figuring out our ad strategy, both online and on different platforms and channels. An influencer strategy, working with people who we think align with our brand and align with our values. And then also a lot of word of mouth. Our most effective call to action has actually just been tell a friend. Because then they go to our website or they check out our things and they share it with someone they know. And that allows us to build a relationship beyond just, hey, buy this.
How many designs do you have?
We have 4 colorways for our shirts and we have 5 for our bandanas. It was a months-long selection process and a lot of validation. We built our first prototype around last August and spent much of last winter validating, going to tailors, getting different cuts made, giving them to people, wearing them, seeing what people said, how they felt, how they were cared for, wear and tear, and things like that.
Right here.
As you get more popular, as it looks, I think those are cool shirts and stuff.
Thank you.
What are your plans to accelerate production?
Our plans are to bootstrap using the revenue, since we are live, to be able to figure out a broader growth strategy so that we can reach a greater audience, but also learn more about our current customer and understand what sorts of, how our product fits into their life and what sorts of things they think that fulfill the vision of the company as an umbrella brand.
We get on the phone with like every new customer, and we're just going to saturate the hell out of that market. So first, before we do anything.
I have a question. Where are the shirts produced? Are they produced by hand or
We
what's that process like?
Yeah, we import the fabric and we do production in Maryland. So we used to both live in Baltimore, and we work with a great manufacturer there who does a killer job. Yeah. I got it.
Could you just spell the name of your company, please?
Diop, D-I-O-P.
As at Where Diop, Instagram, website.
Other questions?
Are there like women's clothing? Like, do you make women's shirts, or is it just like unisex? Or?
We believe that our garments are for whoever wants to wear them. That said, we do primarily market to men,
Okay.
but we do have women who have purchased
And model them as
and
well.
model as well.
So if someone wants like a really small one or a really large one, what would be the turnaround time? Or do you have those in stock?
We have those in stock, sizes ranging from small to extra large, and it's we do first class shipping, so it's a 2 to 3 days from time of purchase.
All right, thanks guys. And our next pitch tonight is Gregory, and so Yuan Liu is going to be pitching. Gregory helps people access better education by building affordable chatbot tutors.
Hi everyone, my name is Yuan and I'm the founder of Gregory. As a company, we believe in the value of education. It is life-changing, at least it changed mine. I grew up in an impoverished village in China, and it was my education that brought me where I am. And I believe that education should be for everyone. But right now, the challenge is, it's not really, right? So access to education has always been a scarcity in a way, and a lot of families turn to tutors to help their children get ahead in their education and get better opportunities. But the reality is that it's very expensive, and it costs, on average, a family $8,000 a year, and that's a lot of money. And the truth is, a lot of students who could have used a better education to change their lives can't really get one because they can't afford a fancy tutor to help them keep up with the competition. And that's really a problem, right? There isn't really a lot of options in the market these days. Take the test prep market as an example. Companies either gravitate towards books and materials, or they try to make a profit on tutoring services that could cost up to $1,200 an hour, and that's ridiculous. And a lot of students are stuck in the middle with this huge gap in the market, and that's what we're here to change. So we're trying to build an alternative for students that are more affordable and available. And our vision is big, but we're starting from somewhere small. And as we talked about the test prep market earlier, we're starting from the $600,000 around the world taking the GRE, and hence the name, we start with GRE. So let's meet Gregory. So we used our proprietary algorithm and built out an AI-based chatbot that works as a tutor for students. And Gregory is a Facebook Messenger bot that you could text 24/7. So how does it work? So it starts with interactive quizzes and games and collects data from the user to analyze the students' strengths and weaknesses. And with those insights, Gregory puts these data into organized practice sessions for students, sending them personalized materials and schedule their time. And based on the student schedule, they lay out a roadmap for students and implement them like hour by hour. And after each session, Gregory would provide more personalized feedback and insight and coach them to get to the next level they need to be. And through each session, with more data they get, they improve their study sessions for the future. And how are we different? Aside from that, the fact that we're trying to build a product that's working like a tutor, providing the value of a tutor at a much lower cost and available 24/7, we are also different from current software products that are either providing just materials, because we are more goal-oriented. Gregory helps students understand the priorities, and like a good tutor, it teaches its students to really fish by helping them learn how to strategize and understanding themselves. And as I already said, you could text Gregory anytime you want, and that's what you can do with a tutor. So we're adopting a freemium model, and we have recently launched our free product on Facebook. So that is a chatbot that helps students study vocabulary and practice math questions. It was launched last Tuesday, and so far we have 40 free users already. And we're also testing the premium features on the site as well. We've already had 9 paying users so far, and we're getting more paying customers to further test our features. And so this is the team, and this is me, Yuan. I'm the CEO. I'm a Dartmouth trained engineer, and I was a former consultant that used to work for several education companies. But more importantly, I used to be a tutor for more than 7 years, and I really care about my students. And what I'm trying to do is to build something that could do what I can do for more students. And there's my team member. Sean is an engineer, graduated from Cornell, and Carissa is the marketing guru. And we're all IB team that cares a lot about education, and we love what we're trying to build. And the ask is, if you're planning for grad school, so sign up, and we're a team of experts that will take care of that. And sign up and talk to me.
Great. Questions for Yuan?
So was you guys'
software, Gregory, the AI, did you develop that yourself then, or how exactly does that, how did you make that or get that to work?
Yeah, we developed it ourselves. It's me and Sean on the team.
How long does it take for you to develop a new course with your system?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So it'll take about like when you're saying like a new course, so are you talking about the content, the curriculum? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have so for the test prep stuff, we already have like a huge database. Like from my tutoring years, I have like thousands of like materials. So it'll be really easy for us to like compile the data and replicate that. So like if we want to expand to a different test, for example, it takes probably a month to really collect all the data and like put them together.
In the back.
I'll try to be loud. Okay. So you said something interesting. You said you were a tutor as well, and like department, you said you cared for your students. How are you planning to translate that to an app?
I think about what I would do for my students when I'm building my product. I think about every time when they come to me, what questions they're asking, and I think about what are some things that they couldn't really fix when they're studying by themselves and why I was there. And for example, I have a lot of my students, like when I talk to them, they seem like they're all over the place, and they're like, I ask them, what are you reading these days? What are you practicing with these days? And they're gonna tell me a bunch of stuff, and my job was to help them navigate the process, and this is one thing that I'm trying to do with Gregory, trying to help students step by step, like I did.
Right here.
Do you see any issues to scalability with developing like new coursework in this manual fashion? Do you see, have you planned out how you're going to be able to increase the number of people who aren't necessarily yourself working on those courses?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Do you see any issues to scalability with your current model of developing coursework?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I don't see any problem like within the test prep realm. We have a really extensive collection of materials already, and we have our own content. I think as we expand beyond the test prep, which is our future vision, we are going to partner with other. We're planning to partner with other curriculum with other materials and develop like a full curriculum for the subjects we're going to expand to. I think the difference between us and other companies that say they are going to scale, software companies that say they're going to scale beyond the test prep, is that it's exactly what you're talking about. There's certain differences between test prep and the rest of the educational world, and in a lot of times education companies, test prep companies tend to focus on the materials and content, and that's the scalability issue that they have. Because the way people study, because what they are having is not really scalable. But what we're trying to focus on is a scalable method that helps students learn and prioritize and organize their time. And we're really trying to teach the students to fish rather than just giving them the materials and let them study that. So that's the scalable part that we're working on.
I think it's all the time we got for questions. Thank you. Next we have Gami, and Olivia Nicholas is going to be pitching. Gami is a monthly origami subscription to help people create and unwind. Fun fact about Olivia is that, which is related to her company as well, is that she studied Japanese for 6 years, but she's not yet been to Japan.
My name is... You can hear me? Okay. My name is Olivia Nicholas. Can you hear me now? No. Okay, I'll try to be very loud. My name is Olivia Nicholas, and I'm the founder of Gami, a monthly origami subscription for beginners. The United States arts and crafts market is large and growing significantly. In 2016, it hit $44 billion, and it's expected to hit 50 billion by 2024. With the stresses of our modern world and the ubiquity of technology, now more than ever, people are putting down their phones and picking up a craft. Specifically, in 2016, 12 million adult coloring books were sold. Knitting, ceramics, and woodworking in general, or in particular, are especially growing in popularity as their repetitive actions create a state of active meditation for the people that do those crafts. With the rise of the arts and crafts industry, the demand for origami has also increased. There are over 300 YouTube channels specifically devoted to origami. The TED Talk called The Math and Magic of Origami by mathematician and origamist Robert Lang has over 2.5 million views. In the UK, craft sales stores have seen an increase as high as 60% week over week of origami sales, some of origami books, some even selling out of their inventory. This YouTube video, How to Make an Easy Origami Dinosaur, has over 3.5 million views on YouTube. But these are the questions, or these are the top comments that come up when you scroll down to the comments section. As you can see, it's not pretty. The demand for origami is there, but there aren't solutions that make it easy and fun for adults to learn. Most of the YouTube videos and origami kits have instructions that are unclear, difficult to follow, or built for children. In addition to that, there's a host of disparate resources, but there's no clear curriculum or path to start and improve if you want to learn origami. Gami builds an experience around learning origami that's fun and helps people incorporate it into their everyday lives. Each pack comes with a curated booklet of 5 to 8 origami models, as well as various types, textures, and patterns of paper. On a month-to-month basis, subscribers pay $12 per month, and if you pay 3 months in advance, the cost is $11 per month. The curriculum is accessible and fun and teaches everything from the most basic concepts to more advanced techniques. Each month there's a new theme or intention, and I'm in the earliest stages of partnerships with people like Chrissy, and she in particular runs this great blog called Paper Kawaii that has hundreds of tutorials, and she makes her own original designs. She also serves as an influencer as she informs the content and shares it with her followers. So I've done customer discovery and user testing with about 50 individuals so far, and I'm doing more every day. I did a soft launch over this past weekend, like 3 days ago, and I have 20 subscribers now, more than even when I updated this a few hours ago. And 75% of those people are my friends and family, and I haven't done any paid advertising or marketing yet, but I do have a plan for how I want to market it, and I know how I can bring it to more people. My 4-pronged plan includes guerrilla marketing, digital ads both on Facebook and Google, influencer partnerships, and PR, particularly with holiday gift guides. I'm focusing on growth because by growing, I can enable future opportunities. If I can hit 100 subscribers, I can invest in inventory and buy paper in bulk, which will increase my margins. If I can hit 250 subscribers, I can expand to other products for which I already have plans. The products that I would like to expand to include party packs for larger groups, kids packs for children, advanced packs, and products for restaurants and waiting rooms to entertain their customers and clients before they're served. I've actually already been doing that with Pizzaplex in Detroit, and it's been a big hit. So the biggest way that you can help me today is by subscribing or gifting a 1-month or 3-month pack of Gami. And you can see my website here. You can also follow me on Instagram. The handle is up here as well. And if you're sticking around after, I will be giving 5-minute origami lessons to make a butterfly, so stay tuned. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So we have 5 minutes for questions for Olivia.
Where did you get this idea from?
So I studied Japanese growing up, like in middle school and high school, and we did a lot of origami then. And since then, I've always been like dabbling in different arts and crafts, and I realized how great origami is as both a creative outlet and a meditative outlet. And I also saw a subscription model as an extremely validated business model. So I wanted to combine the two and bring this like niche sort of craft to more people.
I know this is a subscription service, but do you have any plans to go to brick and mortar in the future?
Not in particular, but I wouldn't put it out of the question. Right now I'm just focusing on this, and my hope is to really validate the subscription model, and then I could consider, and especially with the other future products, and then I think I would consider investing in more of a brick and mortar, particularly with places like craft stores, bookstores, places like that.
What do you see as your exit, if ever?
That's a great question. I don't think that I would be doing this for an exit per se. Honestly, I don't have a good answer for you.
Do you have financial needs, or are you bootstrapping this entire thing?
I'm bootstrapping, but my biggest financial need is money for both inventory and marketing. I'm doing tests on the marketing, and so I'm learning like what works and what doesn't. And then once I have a better idea of what works, if I can turn the hose on, especially like the Facebook and digital ads, then that would increase my growth significantly.
Do you have a scope of financial needs and what you need and timetable?
I can provide that.
Other question? I probably didn't catch that, but are you planning to selling a origami paper as well?
Yeah, so the kit comes with a pack of origami paper as well as the booklet, which is designed, and each of the the models in it are selected and curated for that month. So they kind of come together, as well as like little extra things. Like for example, in this first one of the projects is origami butterfly, and so I'm including twine and a paper clip so you can like string them up and attach them in your house, and it becomes like part of your life more so.
Others? Alrighty, thank you. Our last presenter of the night is Jam, and Shay Parikh is presenting. Jam helps companies retain top talent by making employees feel more connected to one another. Interesting fact about Jam, that Shay and his co-founder Willie actually came up with what is now Jam during their senior year at Davidson College, where they were both frustrated by the lack of human connection in what should have been a hyper-connected environment.
Can you guys hear me in the back? Okay? All right, good stuff. So my name is Shay Parikh, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Jam. And with Jam, we facilitate greater human connection in the workplace. I moved to Detroit 2 months ago to work full-time on Jam, and I'm really excited. Within that time period, we actually opened and closed our pilot program with Piano Software, the Florida Panthers, NHL organization, and Venture For America. And to give you some context on that, there's probably a good chance that some of you sitting here work at a company where you work alongside other humans, right? And I want you to think about those people and then ask yourself, how well do you really know those people? And I mean really know them as humans. Their interests, their stories, their passions, what makes them tick as humans. And then with those thoughts and those connections in mind, ask yourself, what does that do for your own experience as an employee within that organization? And then with that, what if I told you that 82% of employees actually indicate that personal connections are the single most important attribute for workplace culture? So very simply, who you know and how you feel about those people dictates how you feel about the company as a whole. And that's really no surprise, right? Humans, by our nature, desire connection. But it's connection just not to those we love, but it's those that we work alongside every single day. And when we don't get that connection, that's when problems start to happen. And when employees feel less connected, they actually become less engaged. And when they're less engaged, they become less productive. And that has serious implications for a company's bottom line. So much so that Gallup research actually indicated that disengaged employees cost the US economy up to $550 billion a year in lost profit. That's a massive number. So much so that the employee engagement industry has grown to become a $75 billion industry. So you would think with this infusion of capital and energy into the space, surely we must have moved the needle on employee engagement. But if you look at the numbers, over the past 18 years, employee engagement has actually flatlined. There's been no substantial increase. And that is because all the solutions to date are focused on measurement. So everyone is focused on tackling the tragic annual employee engagement survey, right? And while we think that's a very noble cause because no one likes surveys, we also think that you can measure something bad in one way and then measure something bad in another way. At the end of the day, it's still a bad thing, right? So our thesis with Jam is, what if you could speak to the human element that defines an employee experience, right? What if you can give people an outlet where they can seamlessly connect with the people they work alongside every single day and give them a chance to get to know those people on a human level? So that's exactly what Jam is. Jam is a calendar integration tool that integrates into a company's calendar system and then automatically schedules 30-minute coffee sessions between employees that have never had the chance to connect before. So does anyone here work for a company with more than 50 employees? Sure. What's your name?
Siddharth.
Siddharth? That's my dad's name, actually. But what's the name of the company that you work for? Ford?
Yeah.
Wow, perfect example. More than 50. Okay. So Jam hits it big and we land Ford as a company. And Siddharth is wants to opt in. He does that by taking 60 seconds to fill out a survey where he's telling us what he does at Ford, how long he's been there, and some of his personal interests that he wants to jam about. From there, he magically receives a calendar invitation with other jammers within the company that he's been connected with, and all he has to worry about is either accepting or amending that invitation. Once finalized, Siddharth, on that day of that jam session, takes 30 minutes to unplug from the daily chaos and connect with the other humans that he works alongside at Ford. And we even send you some questions as well as some shared activities to help you dive deeper below the surface level of engagement. From there, after that, all we ask for is 30 seconds of feedback in order to go on future jam sessions, which actually just help improve our algorithm to provide better connections going forward. Jam then takes all of those metrics and we provide a report just like this to business owners. And these are metrics on who in the company is connecting, what are they connecting around, and how do they feel because of that connection. And these are metrics that business leaders have never had on their table to make decisions that actually give a company some insight to what is happening with the humans within their company. So you're probably thinking this is nice to have, it's great in theory, everyone loves human connection, fluffy abstract things. But when we set out to do Jam, we said we have to make this more than just a nice to have and a business critical solution. And we focused on doing that by showing how connected can we actually make employees feel to one another. And to give you some insight to why that's important is research has shown that if you can make employees feel 10% more connected, more engaged, then that can lead to $2,400 increase in profits per employee per year. And we're about a third of the way through our pilot program right now, and we've seen that employees on average across pilots have felt an increase of 24% more connected to the employees that they work alongside. And we're only charging on average $60 per employee per year. So our ask to you, to the group tonight, is simply introductions. We've seen the validity of Jam now working in companies, and we want to get in front of more companies. So if you know VP of operations or higher at companies with 70 to 200 employees right here in the Ann Arbor and Detroit area, I would love an introduction. Again, my name is Shay Preek. I'm a Venture For America fellow. I come from a design and sales background. My co-founder, Willie McDade, comes from the dark side of management consulting and leads the effort on sales and strategy. And to conclude, the companies that are using Jam today do so because they believe in the power of their people. And there's a market demand that is asking for a solution to make it easier for companies to put their people first, and Jam is that solution. So thank you very much for your time, and any questions?
All right, questions for Shay. I think we have one in the front row already.
Yeah. How do you measure that the employees, how well the employees are connected?
Connected? Yeah, that's a great question. So we kind of made fun of surveys, but we also use surveys in the sense that when employees opt into Jam, we're taking a baseline of how connected they feel, and then after every single Jam session in that feedback form, we're asking the same exact questions as well as a few.
So every employee has their own way of measuring connected.
Exactly. I can tell you how each individual employee feels connected to another, but that percentage is just an aggregate across all pilots right now.
Do you have jam sessions with multiple people or only 2 people at the same time?
Yeah, it's great.
I have one more.
Yeah, hit me.
So if 2 people connect nicely with each other, do they get to meet through Jam again, or is it always with new people?
Yeah, it's a great question. So on the first point, we have, right now Jam sessions are, our algorithm spits out groups of 3 on every 5th Jam session. Eventually when we get to the point of further building out the tech, we'll push that preference to the end user. And it's a great question because some of the feedback that we've gotten, especially with bigger companies, some people may not feel comfortable going on a jam session with another person, and we want to give them that ability. On the second point, right now in the feedback form, we ask the person, would they go on another jam session with the same person? And if they say yes, then the algorithm will recommend another jam session with the same grouping in a further time period down the road.
Question in the back.
So you said that you had some questions and activities that you presented as options just in case people didn't like connect. Where did you get the inspiration? Like, which questions and activities did you choose, and like, why did you choose them?
Yeah, it's a great question. So when we first started the pilot programs, our thesis was, what happens if you can just put two people in an environment talking about the same interests? And that's great, and it works depending on those personalities of the people, but what works even better is if you arm them with certain questions. And so we're giving them questions along the lines of something like, for example, a question that went out today was, what's something big or small that's good that's happened in your life recently? Or what's a treasured memory? And some of that inspiration we got, actually, if you ever read some of the research that came out, and the New York Times picked it up and kind of made it sexy, but the 36 questions to fall in love with any stranger. Some of those questions we use, but now we've actually even turned it over to companies and saying, from management, what are the kind of questions that you want your people to start talking about? So in one of the pilot programs, the organization is about to move into a new office. So one of the questions that they may want to crowdsource from the employees is, what new design hack would you give or would you implement in the office to make it a friendlier, more collaborative environment? And it's almost a way to crowdsource solutions to problems that the company is facing.
Right over here.
What is your kind of status? You know, how many people work at the company? How many customers do you have?
Yeah, so it's me and my co-founder right now. We have 3 companies in our pilot program, one of which is a fully paying customer. We have 2 verbal agreements from companies in Detroit. From the team standpoint itself, we've honestly been able to hack together a solution between contracted engineers and just more hustle as to first-time co-founders.
What are some of the most commonly heard critical pieces of feedback that you get from end users?
From end users?
Yeah.
So one of which was how can we ask questions or propose questions that take it a little deeper than, you like art, I like art, let's talk about art, and more so introducing questions that get to kind of deeper points. And the second was even a suggested activity to do. And so we picked that up in our first pilot, and the second pilot hadn't started yet. So in the second pilot, we were suggesting that people take a walk from their office to we found a Starbucks location down the road, and we're actually sending them $5 gift cards to use on the first jam sessions. So there's a lot of things that we can test, I think, within the end user experience, I think that you're hitting on, and that comes from the type of questions that we can ask to shared activities that they're doing, to even how they can change the frequency of how many jam sessions that they want to go on.
Time for one more question, right here.
So it sounds like the programs opt in on like an individual basis inside of the company. At what rate are individuals opting in?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we measure actually company adoption as one of the biggest metrics, and our pilot with Piano, and well, to baseline that, we consider success to be 15% adoption of the company within the first month, and Piano had 49% adoption within the first 2 hours of launching within the company. So I think it's speaking to that there's a need there, again, from the human element of wanting to know your other employees that work alongside. It's just now creating a sticky experience that keeps them there.
Awesome, thank you. Well, great job to the VFA companies. Great pitches, that was awesome. Now we're going to transition to our community announcements time. So if you have a community announcement, a meetup, a position you're hiring for, looking for a collaborator project, go ahead and line up right here along the whiteboard. And this, yes. Thanks. And feel free to keep your announcement about 1 or 2 minutes, but if you're looking for a position, you're looking for a co-founder, pitching an event, you can come up and make that announcement now. Why don't you walk right up here and then make it, and then everyone can just continue going through and write your info on the board if you want people to follow up with you afterwards. Come on up.
Hi, my name is David Dodds. I am a SaaS entrepreneur. Not a developer, but I'm a liaison between my target end users and developers. My target end users are startup founders and decision makers in startups, which is why I'm here. I can smell you from a mile away. I know you're here. So I've been doing research since about February on some of the pain points that startup founders have been having growing their startups to the next level. And one of the big themes that I've come across is it's hard to hire and find and attract technical talent. We're talking like data scientists, C-suites, developers. And so my ask is that if you are a decision maker in a startup, I would like to talk to you either in person or on the phone about your experience hiring and attracting technical talent. I'm really honing in on that problem recently, and been talking to some local developers about the scope of some of the ideas that have emerged. But yeah, Shay, you just get a business card just by virtue that we are in similar, it's right up the same alley. But I have business cards here. Don't let me leave with any of them.
Awesome.
I'm gonna put them right here, and then write my stuff up here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm John Hoinveld from Alpha Django. We are a company that builds early stage startups. So I have two asks, actually three, two asks and an announcement. So the first ask is we're always looking for companies that need technical support. Some of the services we provide is building the actual MVP from the beginning, greenfield operations, to also providing free advice from a CTO perspective. The second thing is we are always looking for good developers. We're a Ruby house, and if you know of anyone that is looking for a job or wants to change their job, please reach out to me. I'll be posting on the Made in A2's Slack channel, so yeah, I'm not going to write my stuff up there. And then the third thing is we're doing a series for our entrepreneurs called Sales 101 for startups, and I will be posting some events. The first one is on prospecting, and Mark Shalinsky, who has a deep knowledge in sales, will be presenting that. So if you're interested, please reach out. I'll be putting that again on the Slack channel.
Great.
Hey everyone, my name is Scott Gosey and I got a couple events to announce, so I'm going to go fast. First, if you loved what you saw tonight and you want to build your own startup, there's an event every 2 weeks called Ann Arbor Coffeehouse Coders that I'm a co-organizer from. You can find it at meetup.com, and I'll put it in the comments on this meetup after the event. But come on by, we help you learn how to code and build your own startup maybe one day. And then if you're looking for a co-working space, there's a very cool startup co-working space right up above Alpha Django called the Tech Brewery. You can find it at techbrewery.org. And combined, all the companies have raised have exited for over $3 billion, I believe, mostly due to Doug Sullivan. But if you want to be part of that success, come on by and check us out. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Gabby and I'm the events manager and I'm from the EMU Center for Digital Engagement. I'm here to promote the digital marketing workshop. This year is taking place November 16th, that's a Friday, 7:30 to 2 p.m. This half-day workshop is almost filled up. We're over 3/4 sold out, so I would encourage you to register now. We put together a panel of experts from companies such as Google, Duo Security, Pinterest Automotive, and many more. You can register now with code EARLY for a discounted rate of $60 at thedigitalmarketingworkshop.com. So if you need any more details or you would like to ask me a question, come grab a flyer from me afterwards. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Abraham. I think I might be a little bit different because I'm a researcher at University of Michigan, and what I'm interested in is I want to talk to app developers who develop mobile apps, and I want to understand better how people integrate ads into their apps, how startups integrate advertising into their mobile apps to monetize their apps. So if anyone has experience in that, please come talk to me, and that way, yeah.
Great.
Hi, my name's Adam. I'm co-founder of a startup called Karmata, which is we create a team productivity and communication app. And we just started our private beta, so if you're interested in trying it out, if you have a private group or a business that wants to be in early on a competitor to Slack, it's sort of like Slack meets Reddit, come talk to me, and we'd love to get your feedback and build an app that works for you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashwan, and I'm a co-founder for a company called Brilotech. We have a couple of product ideas that we're working on right now, so we're looking for talent. We're not looking for AI engineers or connected cars or all that hi-fi stuff right now. What we're looking at is we're looking for .NET engineers, people who'd like to work on the cloud, Java engineers. So if you're interested, please talk to me. We are also conducting a training in Novi. Seriously, the reason we started this training is because we're not finding talent. We are open to train people for 8 weeks, and then so that we can place them for the positions that we have open. So looking forward to speak to you today. If you want to speak with me, I'm open today. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kevin. I run a co-working space downtown. The space is on Main Street, and the reason I opened the space is because I was working remote a while back and I didn't really like working from home because I had, roommates were around and my room's kind of small, and I was used to going somewhere to work for my last job. And so I was going to coffee shops, but doing that on a regular basis adds up, and sometimes it's hard to find a table and it's kind of a hassle. So that's why I created the co-working space. There are a number of co-working spaces in town already, but the desk, the going rate for a desk is about $200. So I made one that costs less than that, about half of that. So I will leave a stack of business cards up here. For people online, the website is coworkandarbor.com. And if you know anyone who's interested, who's not here today, who may be interested, not here today, please let them know. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks everybody. I also have my own announcement. I'm on the lookout for my next opportunity at startups. I've launched early sales at startups in Ann Arbor and early customers at startups as well, and looking for my next opportunity in customer success. So talk to me if that is interesting for you. Awesome. Okay, so thanks everyone who made announcements, and definitely connect those people afterwards if you're interested in those opportunities, or can help them out with that. To wrap up, we have a couple announcements before we finish up and head over to Pizza House. Our next A2NewTech is Tuesday, November 20th, so mark your calendar now for that and RSVP for it. We do have spaces open for pitches, so again, if you know of someone who should pitch, don't hesitate, reach out, have them email us at organizers@a2newtech.org. And location change, we're going to change again next month because we'll be back up in our normal room on the first floor. So I hope everyone found the room easily tonight. We'll be back in the normal room 1225, which is directly upstairs next month in November. Reminder, someone else mentioned the Slack channel. That's a great resource for you. So remember to go to madeina2.com/Slack if you haven't joined that Slack channel yet. And check out madeina2.com as well. It's a great resource hub for startups, and a directory also of a lot of the tech companies in Ann Arbor. So if you want to check that out, see who's in the area, learn about them a bit more, go to madeina2.com. So we'll see you over at Pizza House right after this. We'll be heading there. I'll be heading there about 5 to 10 minutes. It's at 618 Church Street. And again, to note, this is not a 21 plus venue. Our previous one for the summer was, but anyone of any age can come to Pizza House and join us. Thanks guys, we'll see you next month.
I've never done it.